What is up, ladies and gentlemen of the online Jamily? JamiroFan 2000 here with yet another episode of JamiroFan Talks About. For the uninitiated of this series here on my channel of nearly 9 years, this has been my periodic discussion series looking at the past, present, and future of Jamiroquai and their now over 30 years of musical making and influence. This is going to be yet another episode of JamiroFan Talks About where I give you an update on the current status of the 9th Jamiroquai album, which they have been recording for nearly a year as of March of 2024 into March of 2025. And having recently some of the band members showing up at Chillington via a lot of great pictures and videos that have been shared by respective band members very generously on their respective Instagram accounts of them recording in the studio in 2 recent recording sessions, the last to next week of January of 2025 into the first week of February of 2025. But I thought I did produce a new infographic like I have been doing periodically from the fourth quarter of 2024 into the first quarter of 2025, and I just recently released one on the subreddits of the online Jamily at our Jamiroquai and the Reddit Jamily. So I thought I'd record a new episode of JamiroFan Talks About, at least the first one for 2025, to give you a status on all the known factoids currently known about the 9th Jamiroquai album, which is still slated for some time of a release in 2025. But let me give you a rundown as of February 10th of 2025 of the known factoids, at least for the people who haven't watched my previous videos, that are now known for the Jamiroquai 9th album. As of September of 2024, originally 11 tracks, JK remarked that the new Jamiroquai album has 14 tracks they are currently heavily working on at the Chillington studios. The new album will have a lyrical theme running throughout its length. The new album doesn't have an official title as of yet. The Heels of Steel, which is named after the upcoming announced November through December 2025 tour of Europe and the UK by Jamiroquai's management, is a confirmed song title for that new album. Sola Akimbala, the percussionist of Jamiroquai, is yet to record his instrumental parts for all the new Jamiroquai album material and recording work at Chillington Studio. There are no collaborations with other musical artists for this planned new Jamiroquai album. In the topic of final album mixing, the band will be pursuing a third-party mixer for the new Jamiroquai album once it's completed its current recording sessions, which have been nearly a year in the making. It has been described to me that Jamiroquai has a ways to go to have completed the aforementioned current recording of the new Jamiroquai album. And finally, of the known factoids, the band has made some major progress on the new album since mid to late January 2025 recording sessions, and I have heard that JK is constantly coming up with new song ideas for that said new album. Now, this final factoid is going to be dealing with a possible time of frame of release for the 9th Jamiroquai album. And here is that new factoid as of February 10th of 2025. Matt Johnson of Jamiroquai, upon answering a fan's Instagram query on his respective Instagram account, said that his second solo album, which I just previously discussed in a new episode of the Jamiroquai Minute here on my channel, will be coming out before the release of the new Jamiroquai 9th album. Then a little bit later on his social media, he announced, as I talked about, then on his social media he has announced that his new solo album, which is called Warrior Princess, would be coming out June 6th of 2025. So by process elimination, using your common sense, that means the new Jamiroquai album will not be out until after June of 2025. And that is all the known factoids as of February 10th of 2025 concerning the 9th Jamiroquai album. And like I said, I put them into a handy infographic like I've done in the past over the last few months. Then I posted it on the subreddits of the online Jamily and on my social media. So if you'd like to check out and read that infographic for yourself, I'll be sure to put a link to that infographic that is updated as of February 10th of 2025 aforementionedly down in the description area of this episode JamiroFan Talks About down below. Now, like I said, the current time period is February of 2025, and they're still in recording sessions, and they're nearly a month away from having been in the studio, at least from my chronicling. I do have an Imgur album of all the pictures and videos that so far respective band members of Jamiroquai have generously shared on their respective Instagram that I have been keeping updated up to February of this year. So I'll be sure to additionally put that down in the description area of this episode of JamiroFan Talks About, so you can check that out in your own time of all the pictures and videos that they have shared from the studio. Not many audio indications of where musically this 9th Jamiroquai album is going to go, but speculatively speaking, and This is the grain of salt portion of this episode of JamiroFan Talks About, so please take this as speculation and not as the gospel. Given that this album is going to be coming out potentially after June of 2025, this album could be looking at a mid to late 2025 release that could be maybe a few months before or coinciding with the tour in November and through December of 2025 of Jamiroquai and the Heels of Steel tour. Now, as for the first potential single from this album, basing it off what they did with Automaton, their second release through Universal Music that came out back in March of 2017, the first single, Automaton, the title track, did come out in January of 2017, followed by its second single release at the beginning of February of 2017 for the single Cloud 9. Now, this first single could potentially come out 2 months prior to the release in the third to fourth quarter of 2025, or it could be coming out a little bit sooner. That is really up to the discretion of the band on where they are currently in the recording sessions. And like I said, they are a year into Chillington since March of 2024, going up to March 2025 in the recording of this album. So they are been doing sporadic recording, like I said, in the latter part of 2024 into this first quarter of 2025. So, common sense dictates that they could be going into final album mixing sometime into the early to mid-spring into summer, and the mixing process could take several months, so that could be a good majority of the summer of 2025. So we could potentially be looking at a mid to late 2025 release for this new ninth aforementioned Jamiroquai album. And like I said, I have been scrounging as much information as I can. Like I said, a lot of information did come out very, very fluidly during the fourth quarter of 2025, but here in the first quarter, it's kind of slowed down a little bit because they have been really focusing in the studio on making sure that this ninth Jamiroquai album is absolutely awesome, and I don't blame them on that. I don't fault them on that, and hopefully they are going to be keeping that approach to at least the recording process on this album. But I highly think that they're pretty much in the last few months of recording, and hopefully things will be coming a little more materialized news-wise from this new album as we go into the spring and summer of 2025. But as always, I will stay astute to whatever information comes my way, and I'll be sure to pass it on to you in constant updates when I can in regards to the ninth Jamiroquai album. But as always, this is JamiroFan 2000. I just want to say at the end of this episode of JamiroFan Talks About and thank everybody in the online family for their patience as Jamiroquai has meticulously been working on this new album. And I tried not to jump gun on any of the information that I am try to share with you regarding this new album. I know it's very highly anticipated, and I know we're all in exciting times once JK in the latter part of last year actually verbally confirmed that this new album was going into the recording process. And all I can say is massive thank you to everybody across the board of the online family for their patience and letting the band organically get this album done and hopefully into a mixing process very soon. And then on the same side of the coin, massive thank you to all the band members of Jamiroquai who have taken the time out of their very, very busy schedules, either working on Jamiroquai or working on their own solo material or anything else in their time, for sharing in the studio a lot of good pictures and videos as they work very, very hard on this new album. And I'm sure it is not going to disappoint. So massive thank yous to, of course, Paul Turner, Rob Harris, Matt Johnson, Derek McKenzie, and of course the Rare Moments JK over on the Jamiroquai HQ Instagram account when he can record content, giving us updates on that ninth album. Thank you again, you gentlemen, for giving us updates so the online family isn't caught in the fog as always. But as always, this is JamiroFan 2000, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of JamiroFan Talks About. If you like what you see, be sure to like and subscribe and ding the bell on your YouTube to stay up to date on all the latest new content coming from the JamiroFan 2000 YouTube channel. I will fully endeavor and try to keep bringing you all the latest news. But as always, this is JamiroFan 2000, and I'll see you again really soon with more Jamiroquai related content here on the JamiroFan 2000 YouTube channel. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you again all for your support and your patience, and I'll see you around soon.